As we said, guys, the Spanish conquered and settled in the Caribbean islands, especially Hispaniola and Cuba, and they conquered and invaded Mexico and Peru. The Dutch settled in New Netherland. By the Dutch, I mean, what I mean by the Dutch? Germany,
Yes,
Holland,
Mr.
Netherlands, the Dutch.
Netherlands. Thank you very much. And by the way, Netherlands is the same guys like Holland. Okay, nowadays, Netherlands and Holland, we can say that they are the same. The English settled in Virginia, Jamestown, and in Massachusetts, Plymouth. The Portuguese only conquered Brazil. By the way, guys, who discovered Brazil? Who was the first human being to see
Pedro
this
Cabral.
piece of the land? Pedro
Pedro
Cabral.
Cabral.
Thank you very much. And the French, they conquered Canada. Let's see them one by one. So the Spanish, first of all, they settled in the Caribbean islands, especially Hispaniola and Cuba. Why? Because simply Christopher Columbus, when he reached the new founded land, he settled over there in these two islands. Of course, in order to get the benefit out of this colonization, Spain started to establish the encomienda system. The encomienda system, guys, is simply the colonist was given a small piece of the land plus some natives to work the land for him. In return, the natives will get some teachings about Christianity. So we can say that the encomienda system was unfair to the natives. So
The
it
human
was some
rights, Mr.
kind of enslavement. Until now, by the way, until now, Abdurrahman, there is no such a thing called human rights. We are talking about the 1700s. Okay, so from a colonist point of view, this is my property, the land and the people of it. This is my own property. I have already discovered this piece of the land, so it's my property, and all of the profits will go to the home country. Okay, so the encomienda system, the colonist was given a certain amount of land and a number of Native Americans to work the land for him. In exchange, the colonist was required to teach the native workers about Christianity. Okay, so do you think that the Spanish will only be satisfied with these two small islands? Of course not. They took the lead. They had already discovered the new land. So they will start to send some expeditions to discover the rest of the land. So the Spanish started to send the army. Okay, they brought the army from Spain and they started to establish or to construct some expeditions to explore the rest of the land. The name of the army at that time, the army leaders, okay, were conquistadors. So conquistador is the Spanish military leader. Okay, guys, this is our first term today, in addition to the encomienda system. Okay, so the conquistador is simply a Spanish military leader who took the advantage and went to
مستر
discover. Yes.
ولا قاطع كلامك لكن في ناس ما قدروا يدخلون الى الان يا مستر.
So we are waiting, and the session Fahd is already recorded. So instead of waiting and doing nothing, we started our lesson. I know that some of them are still out, so we are waiting. So conquistador guys are Spanish military leaders who went to discover the rest of the land. Out of these conquistadors came Hernan Cortez. So Hernan Cortez went to discover Mexico. Let's see the map in order to make it easier. Okay, here is the Caribbean islands, guys. Okay, So out of these Caribbean islands, they started to send some expeditions to discover the rest of the land. First of all, Hernan Cortez went to discover Mexico. Over there was an ancient civilization. Do you have any idea which civilization was located over there in Mexico?
Aztec.
The Aztecs? Thank you very much. I think you have studied this issue in grade
There was,
eight,
there was three
7,
civilization.
3 what?
Civilizations, I guess.
In Mexico?
Yeah.
So in Mexico, guys, according to our lesson, only the Aztec Empire, the largest one, was over there. Okay? And the Aztecs, by the way, were not popular at that time because simply they used to enslave the natives. Yani the Aztecs came to Mexico and they started to enslave the natives in the mining business. So for this reason, the Aztecs were not popular at that time. Their leader over there, his name was Mucha Kozama. يبقى Mucha Kozama II was the leader of the Aztec Empire. The capital of the Aztec Empire was, do you have any idea? The Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan. يبقى the Aztec capital was Tenochtitlan. يبقى Hernan Cortez went to explore Mexico. Over there, he found the Aztec Empire. Their leader was Mucha Kozama II, and their capital was Tenochtitlan. Of course, Hernan Cortez killed Mucha Kozama in order to conquer and invade Mexico. Because the Aztecs were unpopular at that time, most of the natives helped Hernan Cortez in his mission to get rid of the leader and to conquer and invade Tenochtitlan, the capital of the Aztec Empire. Any questions until now? If you have any, be my guest.
Thank you, Mr. Clear.
So let's go on. So as you see, I need you to notice the difference. Here is the traditional uniform of the Spanish army, okay, at that time. Sorry, let's have a look at the natives. Here are the natives. Do you see the difference? How do you think these natives can defend themselves against this army? Of course, they are using heavy armors, okay, and metal weapons. While over there, they are using only spheres, right? So do you think that these spheres can hold against the heavy armors and the metal weapons, swords and guns? Logically and obviously, no. So the Spanish conquered Mexico easily. Plus, there is an addition, by the way, horses. Can you imagine that all of the natives living over there in the newfounded land in the Americas had no idea about horses? It was their first time to see these animals. At the first sight, they were scared. They thought that they were aliens. What is this freaky animal? And they escaped from them.
They thought that they were gods.
Yes, of course, because strange people, strange outfit, strange weapons, strange animals. So, what do you think, Tayyip? We can simply say that we use the horses as one of the means of the transportation. So, they do not have any to their civilization. Do you think so? What about donkeys, mules?
I
Do not
guess.
bother. Do not bother yourself with all of these details. Later on, inshallah, we're gonna discuss them. So, Hernan Cortez, he was a conquistador. And if I ask, let me see, Abdullah Ibrahim. Abdullah Ibrahim, would you please remind me what's a conquistador? Abdullah, Abdullah Ibrahim, sleepy Abdullah, wake
السلام
up.
عليكم.
Salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Would you please
مستر
tell us,
معلش
Abdullah?
الموقع كان معلق.
No problem. You are Abdullah or who are you?
No, I am مشهور.
Mashhur. Okay, you have just logged in, right?
Yes.
Welcome. What is Abdullah, guys? Abdullah. Okay, Abdullah maybe has a problem with his mic. Famer, can you hear me?
ايوه مستر تسمعني؟
Yes,
Abdullah?
Mr. I can hear you.
ايوه عبد الله انا
Okay.
عبد الله.
Abdullah Ibrahim, would you please tell me who are the
الحين يا مستر.
conquistadors? Sorry?
الحين تو مدخلني.
Abdullah?
حاجزنا ولوجدين.
Okay. You can go back, Abdullah, to the live sessions. For the latecomers, guys, you can simply go back to the recorded session and you can see what you have already missed. Okay?
اوكي مستر.
Marwan Hafiz, can you tell us who are the conquistadors?
Leaders in the Spanish conquest.
Okay, no problem. By the way, guys, I have no problem. Yani, do not copy and paste the definition. You can give me the meaning by using your own words. I have no problem, by the way. So conquistadors, guys, are Spanish military leaders who went to conquer and invade the new founded land. Out of these conquistadors came Hernan Cortez, who went to discover and invade Mexico. Over there, he found the Aztec Empire. Their leader was Muchacuzama II. Hernan Cortez simply killed Muchacuzama and invaded the Aztec capital, which was Tenochtitlan. Another conquistador was Francisco Pizarro. Francisco Pizarro went to invade and conquer Peru. Let's have a look at the map to see where is the location of Peru. So again, here are the Caribbean islands, Hispaniola and Cuba. Okay. Hernan Cortez went to invade Mexico. The other side, Francisco Pizarro went to invade Peru. Over there, what was the name of the civilization, guys? An ancient one.
Inca.
The Inca Empire. Thank you very much. Over there, Francisco Pizarro found the Inca Empire. Of course, the Spanish aim and their goal was simply to discover huge amounts of gold and silver in order to enrich the Spanish treasury. The leader at that time was Atahualpa. Okay, so he went over there and he made some kind of, first of all, the leader welcomed him, okay, and offered him some gifts in order to bribe him, not to kill him. But Francisco Pizarro put him in jail. Then later on, he killed him. Try to imagine the gift that the Inca's leader gave to Francisco Pizarro. It was a room full of gold. And he killed him. Okay? And he entered the Inca's capital, which was Cuzco. Got it, guys? Try to remember these names and please do not mix them together. Hernan Cortez invaded Mexico, where he found the Aztec Empire. The leader at that time was Muchacuzama II, and the Aztecs' capital was Tenochtitlan. Francisco Pizarro went to invade Peru, where he found the Inca's empire. The capital of the Inca's empire was Cuzco. The leader at that time was Atahualpa. Okay, طيب. As we said before, that most of the natives cannot simply handle the European diseases. Normal diseases, by the way, like the flu and like the smallpox, like the measles. So because all of these diseases were new to them, their population simply dropped down. Try to imagine, in only 5 years, guys, their population dropped from 50 million to only 4.
Which empire this one, mister?
All of the natives living in the new founded land, the population they estimated after their discovery to be 50 million, okay, in the 2 continents, North and South America. So they estimated the population to be around 50 million. After 5 years, the population dropped down to only 4 million. So try to imagine, what do you think the Spanish will do with their 2 new founded land?
We're
They
gonna use
need the natives.
garbage, mister.
They
Trash.
gonna use, sorry?
They're gonna use them as trash cans. They have no use for it.
Yes, of course. Yani they need some workers to work the land for them, especially in the mining industry. Yani they use the natives in the mining fields and also in the farming fields. Now the population dropped down. Who's gonna work the land for them? They must start to think about possible solutions.
طب مستر
Yes,
هم ليه حصل لهم دروب؟
because they have no resistance to the European diseases. These diseases were new to them. And they used to have their own diseases. Their immunity system is already programmed to defend themselves against their own diseases. When they were introduced and interacted with the European people when they came to colonize them, of course, try to imagine simple diseases like the flu, for example, cold. They had no resistance against these new diseases. So, and of course, there is no medication. By the way, until now, with all of the advancements in the scientific field, guys, the flu, the normal flu, simply, there is no cure to this flu. Do you know this piece of information before? The normal flu, the normal cold, there is no cure for it. Whatever medicine you're gonna take, you are only treating the symptoms. For example, if there is cough, you're gonna take a medicine to treat this cough. Whenever you feel a high temperature, for example, you will take some medication to treat this fever. But for the flu itself, the cold itself, there is no cure for it until now. So we are only treating the symptoms, but our immunity system is already programmed to resist this kind of disease. But unfortunately, over there to the natives, they cannot resist. All of these diseases are new to them. So the result was their death. Okay. Keep in your mind, guys, that Hernan Cortez and Francisco Pizarro were conquistadors. Conquistadors means Spanish military leaders. So their job was simply to fight in the army. Okay. After, for example, Hernan Cortez discovered and invaded Mexico, who will be the leader of Mexico? Who can suggest me the answer? Who do you think will rule Mexico after they colonize it? Hernan Cortez?
Spain.
Of course, Spain. Spain will rule the country, but by whom? By Hernan Cortez himself. This is not his mission.
No, by the king, Mr.
By the king. Which king? The Spanish king?
In Spain.
So, do you think that the Spanish king will come all the way from Spain to settle over there in Mexico and start to rule the country?
No,
It's a
because he
colony.
has a wife over there, mister.
Sorry?
No, because his wife is back in Spain. He won't leave her.
For only his wife, Abdurrahman. He can simply take his wife with him if he wished to settle over there in Mexico.
No, mister, because Spain is his main land. They won't leave it, mister.
Of course. So he will try to assign some kind of viceroys. Viceroys, guys, are Spanish officials who will rule over the name of the king. Got it, guys? So the Spanish king at that time started to appoint some viceroys. So a viceroy is simply a Spanish official who will rule the land for the king. Got it? Is it clear? Of course, the Spanish king will simply not leave his kingdom over there in Spain and will come to the new founded land to rule Mexico and Peru. He started to appoint some viceroys. Yani try, in order to remind yourself, viceroys like the vice president, for example. Okay? So he will try to appoint some Spanish officials to rule the land for him. Okay? What about the population? The drop in the population from 50 to only 4. Who will work the land for them? A priest. His name was Las Casas. Over there in Spain, he suggested a brilliant idea at that time. So we need some workers to work the land for us. I'm talking about Spain. Why not getting some slaves from Africa? And they started the slavery business to get the slaves from Africa to the new founded land. Cheap labor. Las Casas. He is responsible for the enslavement in the new founded land, the Americas. So, if I ask any questions? No.
طب مستر يعني دلوقتي الامريكانز دول يعني احنا شايفين ان هم ايه اقوى حاجه موجوده دلوقتي
In
صح؟
English,
اقوى
in
بلد.
English, Abdullah, please. Yes.
Americans is the strongest country now, yes?
Nowadays, yes.
اه
Economically, politically, and
yes,
military
everything.
power. Yes.
How they become like this؟ يعني هنا they are founded land. بس ازاي بقى بقوا كده؟
So they had an idea. And since their own independence, Abdullah, when they started to establish their nation over there, they had an idea. And their point of view that was, we are a new founded land. We had no civilization, by the way. Okay? So they came out with an idea. Let's invite every single human being from all over the world. ماشي? And let's invite him to settle down in our country. Even they have invented a motto, a logo for them. Please, if you are not using your mic, turn it off because of the surrounding noise, guys.
هو في حد اسمه راف حاجة راف
Rahaf?
ايش ترى انا معلش دخلت من
Okay, I muted him. So you can hear me, guys, now?
Yes, mister, we can
Yes,
hear you
Mr.
clearly.
Okay, so in order to answer the question for Abdullah, after they established their country over there, they had invented a new idea. This new idea was simply is to invite all of the people from all over the world to come and settle down over there in the new founded land. Okay, even though they were offering him some kind of free land in order to settle down. Please, Rahav, do not open your camera without the permission. Okay. While answering, if I ask Abdullah, for example, and Abdullah want to answer, so he can simply open his camera and start to talk. Okay, so before opening your camera, guys, you can simply ask me for a permission. So back to Abdullah's question. They invited the people from all over the world to come and settle down over there in the newfounded land. Even though for the Western movies, you can see in the Wild West movies, they have started some kind of a race. The people will start in a line and they will start the race in order to settle down and take a piece of the land. Okay? So they were offering him free land to settle down over there. They hoped that all of the people will come from around the world with their own civilizations. So you will get your culture and you will get your beliefs, your traditions with you. All of these cultures, they wished that they're gonna intermingle them together in order to produce a gigantic culture, a gigantic society over there. Get the idea? And I'm not telling you that for this reason they are nowadays the most powerful nation. No one will stay the same all over history. It's gonna cycle around. Before, there were the Ottomans, for example. Then the Russians, the Americans, maybe the Chinese will take the lead. So no one will stay in the same criteria, guys. It's gonna cycle around. But nowadays, it's the time of the states. Any question, guys?
Thank you, Mr.